Hello, hi. In this lecture, we are going to understand about layouts and how to create layouts using CSS. Okay, so before starting, we'll first understand what do we mean by layout. Okay, so I would like to introduce you to a website called uipatterns.com. Okay, so what they have done is a good work in consolidating all the design patterns available. Okay, so what are these design patterns? Okay, so we have been using websites from quite a long time now, right? And everybody were creating the elements like UI elements which has to be present in a website. Okay, so but when do we use which element? Okay, so this in this website they have categorized it into these types, right? So for getting the input, what are the design patterns you use? Like for example, forms, right? So when do you use password strength meter? Right? And when do you use date picker component? So all these kind of things they have document like what all design patterns are available and when should you use which pattern. So that has been documented here. It's a very good website. And whenever we are building websites, right, we need to understand like which we need to go through all this and see like for a given scenario what is the best design pattern to use. Okay, so for example, if you say take the navigation, right? So they are telling the tabs, and if you see inside this tab, they would give you like what is the purpose of it and when should you use it and when should you not use it. Okay, so then you get an idea like if you have some scenario in mind wherein you will have to give certain navigation. Can I use the tabs or not? Is it a good way of doing the website or not? That you can immediately check by coming here. Okay, so let us examine the carousel component. Okay, so what is carousel? Okay, so if you see the carousel component, so this is how they give the problem summary. So when should you use this carousel component? So user needs to browse through a set of items and possibly select one of them. So this is the if you have this particular requirement, then you may use a carousel component. So here they will give the left and right arrow mark wherein you can just click on those and keep scrolling these elements. So that is called as carousel component. Okay, so usage, right? They give you like when you will have to use it exactly. So they will give you all the details here, okay, which you will have to go through. But we were talking about the layouts, right? So what is a layout? Like if I have to create a thing like this, like carousel component wherein these images are aligned, like arranged one besides another, right? So if I have to build this layout, how do I do it? So this is called as layout. Okay, so wherein we are saying these images have to sit one besides another. Okay, so this is called one layout. Okay, if you take the article list design pattern, right? So this is the example which we are seeing. So if you see, this is the block which we are seeing, right? The border. So this is the border. Okay, so if you divide this entire component into two, like this is left part and this is right part, right? Then if you see in this big box, right, in this total big box, there are two partitions. One is on the left and one is on the right. And how are they sitting one besides another, right? So this entire block is sitting besides this block. Okay, so they are aligned horizontally, right? But if you see in this left block, this particular section is below this section. So how are these arranged? One below another. So how do we achieve this particular layout? Okay, so this div has to be besides this div, and in this div we'll have to have the vertical alignment. So how do we achieve these particular alignments? Okay, so that is what we are going to learn in this in this lecture and also coming up few lectures. Okay, so there are different ways of creating those layouts. So one is using floats you can create, and you can use flex boxes and you can use grids. So you can use any of these to create such layouts. But creating the layout through the float property is a bit outdated now. We will not cover as part of this lecture, but you can refer to W3 schools if you have any requirement in implementing that. Okay, so in this lecture, we are going to mainly see how do you align things using the FLEXBOX layout, and how do you do it using CSS grids. So grids are the most latest ones. So we are going to see these two only in this lecture. Okay, so that part we'll cover in the next lecture. Thank you.